Recently, we completed an owner loyalty study that measured the level of service satisfaction to actual repurchases at 557 Chevrolet dealers. The results were videotaped and sent to the branches earlier this year. The video was called the Owner Loyalty Study, and copies are still available. I'll cover some of the details later, but essentially the study reflected that a high service satisfaction significantly improves owner loyalty, repurchase intent, and dealer profits. More importantly, the owner study reinforces how every customer transaction is critical. Although CSI does a good job of measuring customer satisfaction, the study showed that we needed a more specific and timely way to measure the sales and delivery and warranty service experience. So we set out to develop a means by which we could measure customer satisfaction in the areas with the greatest impact on owner loyalty. From the beginning, we involved customers, dealers, and outside consultants. The result of this process is the Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey and the Service Satisfaction Survey we introduced earlier this year. As you'll see, the results of these surveys provide quite useful information. They're easy to identify, and the format is easy to follow. Each month you will receive this packet, the Cell Pack. Satisfaction equals loyalty. All the Chevrolet surveys, including CSI, will be included in this one packet. Each month, the updated Cell Pack portfolio will bring you measurements of subtle, yet important factors which reflect how your customers feel about your dealership. You will have a new benchmark for how customers really feel about your staff. Do customers enjoy dealing with your staff? Are they helpful and courteous? Do salespeople take the time to present the product? Or do your customers feel pressured for a quick sale? Are customers' cars fixed right the first time? If so, who did the work? If not, why not? The information provided in the Cell Pack can help you tell who's doing the job and who should be rewarded. It will also help you identify the need for specific action if you have a problem. The video will introduce you to these new surveys. It will help explain how you can use the results of these surveys to guide your efforts to increase owner loyalty and improve customer satisfaction. Let's take a look at the Cell Pack and what's inside. In the left pocket, you will find the response detail from the Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey. In the center pocket, you will find the Dealer Summary Report and the response detail from the Service Satisfaction Survey. And for those dealerships included in the Customer Satisfaction Survey, the right pocket will contain monthly reports. We'll go into more detail later. You may be asking, why 2 more surveys? Isn't CSI enough? Simply, these new surveys are leading-edge tools for measuring customer satisfaction in the areas with the greatest impact on customer satisfaction, the sales and delivery, and service experience. We can now prove that customer satisfaction and, in turn, brand and repurchase loyalty is largely determined by the overall quality of the dealership experience. The recently completed World-Class Service Owner Loyalty Study measured the relationship between a customer satisfaction with the dealership experience and whether that customer returned to purchase another Chevrolet vehicle. Of the 88,000 1982 buyers involved in the study, 36%, over a third, bought another Chevrolet in the next 5 years. 28% more bought another GM product. 22% bought a vehicle from another domestic manufacturer, and 14% bought an import. Of those who repurchased Chevrolet products, only 21% made an additional purchase from the same dealership. None of the customers involved in the study at this stage had changed address. So these repeat Chevrolet customers had the same choice of dealers. What influenced their decision to switch to a different dealer? These customers made their decision to switch based on the satisfaction with the dealership experience. Within our 88,000 customers, we checked the relationship between dealership CSI and repurchase loyalty. This chart plots repurchase loyalty against customer satisfaction for the dealers included in our study. As you can see, as customer satisfaction increased, so did repurchase loyalty. A closer look at the chart shows there is relatively little gain in repurchase loyalty until the CSI exceeds 75. But notice, when CSI exceeds 80, there is significant increased owner loyalty for every point of satisfaction improvement. Having proven the connection between customer satisfaction and repurchase loyalty, the study team then analyzed CSI data to determine what factors most influence satisfaction. First, we found product accounts for 54% of customer satisfaction. Chevrolet recognizes the absolute need to continue progress to deliver improved quality, and that quality must come from design, development, and manufacturing community. The dealership experience, however, influences the other 46%. So let's break down the dealership experience portion of customer satisfaction. We found that 57% of customer satisfaction with the dealership can be attributed to the service experience. Of this 57%, 10% is related to parts availability. The next largest factor influencing satisfaction with the dealership experience is the customer's impression of the sales staff. The delivery experience was found to influence 8%, and the final 8% is attributed to the quality of the product delivered by the dealership. These findings emphasize customer satisfaction is essential if Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers want their business to grow. So now let's get into more detail on the purchase and delivery and service satisfaction surveys.
While the CSI gives a good picture of the overall dealership experience, the purchase and delivery and service satisfaction surveys have been specifically designed to measure the sales, delivery, and service experience. These are the three parts of the ownership experience determined to be especially critical by the Owner Loyalty Study. As Chevrolet developed these surveys, careful research, testing, and validation was done to ensure the areas we asked about were ones that meant the most to our customers. After initial research by the world-class dealer evaluation team, Chevrolet hired a marketing research consultant to hold focus groups with customers. The preliminary surveys developed from these focus groups were presented to meetings of the National Dealer Council and to the dealerships which were to participate in the pilot evaluation of the survey. After these meetings, a pilot survey was sent to over 43,000 customers. At the conclusion of the pilot period, Chevrolet held additional meetings with the pilot dealers, the National Dealer Council, and the customer focus groups for additional feedback. After this extensive period of testing and validation, we launched 2 new surveys, which will help monitor the areas of your dealership operation which your customers feel are most important: purchase, delivery, and service. A feature of the 2 new surveys is their ability to monitor customer satisfaction throughout the entire ownership period and for all customers. As you can see by this chart, the average vehicle ownership experience is 6 years. Basic warranty coverage lasts 1 year, with some warranty coverage extending up to 6 years. Before we made changes based on the world-class service study, Chevrolet had conducted 2 customer surveys. The Commitment to Excellence survey was taken 60 days into ownership, and the CSI survey after 6 months of ownership. These surveys did not give us a picture of the entire ownership experience. The Purchase and Delivery survey will replace the Commitment to Excellence survey as the initial gauge of satisfaction. The CSI will continue in its same timing for participating dealers, and the Service Satisfaction Survey will measure customer satisfaction following each warranty service visit for the duration of the ownership period. Now we'll go over each of these new surveys. First, let's look at the Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey. The Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey, or PDS, will be mailed to all retail Chevrolet and Geo buyers with a few exceptions. Surveys will not be sent to fleet, government, companies, or lease customers. P&W models, high cube and cutaway vans, and motorhomes will also be excluded. Each customer receiving a survey is sent a personalized letter from Bob Starr, thanking them for purchasing a Chevrolet. Geo customers receive a similar letter with the Geo logo. The letter goes on to state Chevrolet's commitment to producing top-quality vehicles and providing professional, courteous service. The customer is then asked to complete the Purchase and Delivery survey. In case the customer forgets to return the survey, a reminder postcard is sent 1 week after the survey. The Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey for Chevrolet purchasers has 19 questions. Geo purchasers receive a 17-question survey. Before we review the questions, let's take a look at the possible responses. The customer answers the questions by selecting the appropriate box. The choices are very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, somewhat dissatisfied, and very dissatisfied. These responses have point values and are calculated the same as the CSI responses. The first section of the survey asks for the customer's impression of the showroom and sales staff. Questions are asked regarding the customer satisfaction with the convenience of your dealership showroom hours, the overall appearance and cleanliness of the showroom and other areas, and the appearance of the sales staff. The next question asks how the customer feels about the attention received upon first walking into the showroom. The choices for this question are about right, too little, or too much. The third question deals more specifically with satisfaction with the sales staff and asks about their efforts to understand vehicle preferences and transportation requirements, their attempt to answer questions fully and accurately, their knowledge of Chevrolet products, and their presentation of features and options. The next two questions ask if the dealership had brochures or other types of information about Chevrolet products readily available, if the customer took a test drive, and if they did, were they accompanied by someone from the dealership or did they take the test drive alone? The survey continues by asking about how price and warranty were presented during the purchase. Customers are asked if price was handled in a business-like manner and if the purchase agreement and warranty were presented so they could understand. Question 7 asks the customer to rate the overall assistance they received from the salesperson. The remainder of the survey asks about delivery of the vehicle. Customers are asked to rate their satisfaction at the time of delivery with the explanation they received of the vehicle's features and their functions, the service maintenance schedule, and the service department's location, hours, and scheduling practices. In this question, customers are also given the opportunity to respond, "No explanation was given." The next several questions ask about the condition of the vehicle at the time of delivery. Such items as how much fuel was in the tank, was the vehicle ready when promised and clean inside and out, and was everything in working order when the vehicle was first driven away from the dealership. Question 13 asks if the dealership has contacted the customer by phone or by mail since delivery to find out if they are satisfied with it. And question 14 asks if, overall, the customer was treated courteously and with respect. The next two questions on the Chevrolet version of the PDS survey are omitted from the Geo version. The first of these questions asks if the customer disposed of another Chevrolet when the new one was purchased. The next question asks if the customer has ever bought a new Chevrolet from your dealership before. The next two questions ask customers to sum up their satisfaction with the purchase and delivery experience in terms of both the dealership and the vehicle. The final question on the Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey asks for permission to share survey responses with the selling dealer. As you can see, the Purchase and Delivery Survey covers many questions about the dealership you probably wouldn't ask customers on your own. But the PDS survey is only part of Chevrolet's new effort to monitor customer satisfaction. In addition to the Purchase and Delivery Survey, all warranty service customers, with a few exceptions, receive a service satisfaction survey after each warranty service visit. Excluded from receiving the service satisfaction survey are fleet and government vehicles, retail sales to business names, multiple claims during the same rolling 90-day window, RO dates over 45 days, and because of low service volume, Geo vehicles. Each survey is personalized with the customer's name and address and begins with a short message to the customer explaining the purpose of the survey and asking them to complete and return it. The first section of the Service Satisfaction Survey deals with the warranty service customer's level of satisfaction with the dealership service department and service advisor. The first question asks about the convenience of the service department's hours and scheduling practices, the attitude of the service advisor or the person who wrote the repair order, and the service advisor's attempt to understand the problem. The next question on the service satisfaction survey asks if the customer was satisfied with the explanation given, either verbally or in writing, of the repairs made to the vehicle. The survey goes on to ask if the customer's vehicle was ready when promised and if the customer was treated courteously and with respect. Question 5 is perhaps the most important question on the survey. Question 5 reads, "Our goal is to fix your vehicle right the first time. Considering the repairs made on this service visit, how satisfied are you that we are meeting this goal?" The second part of this question is intended for customers whose vehicles were not fixed right the first time. It reads, "If your vehicle was not fixed right the first time, do you think the primary reason was product quality, quality of dealer service, parts availability, or some other factor?" The next question asks the customer to evaluate their overall impression of the dealership based on this service visit. Finally, question 7 asks the customer if it's okay to share their opinions of the visit with the dealership which performed the warranty repairs. Now that we've examined the 2 new surveys in detail, let's look at the reports you'll receive monthly in the Cell Pack. For both the Service Satisfaction Survey and the Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey, you'll receive a summary report and a report labeled Response Detail. At the top right of the Dealer Summary Report, you'll find a block headed Dealership Survey Summary. Located here is information concerning how many of your customers Chevrolet has sent surveys to and the number and percentage of these customers who return surveys. These figures are given for both the previous 3-month period and the previous 12-month period. Information is given for all vehicle customers receiving surveys and is also broken down into cars and trucks. For Geo dealers, Geo is tabulated separately on the Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey Dealer Summary Report. Further down the Dealer Summary Report, you'll find listed each of the questions from the Service Satisfaction Survey and the service satisfaction ratings for your dealership based on the results for each question. Like the dealership survey summary at the top of the report, the service satisfaction ratings are given for both 3-month and 12-month intervals and given for both all vehicles combined and separated into cars and trucks. In addition to dealership results, each monthly report contains branch, SDA or MDA, and divisional indexes for all survey questions. This will allow you to measure customer reaction and evaluate your relative performance on each of the survey topics. Let's take a look at a question on your sample dealer summary report. We'll use the question, "During your recent visit for warranty service, how satisfied were you with A, the convenience of the service department's hours and scheduling practices?" Our report shows that the rating for this question for car customers at this dealership is 77 for surveys returned during the previous 3 months. The rating for similar dealers in the SDA area was 86, 83 for the branch, and 83 for all Chevrolet dealers. What this should tell our sample dealer is that their customers may not be entirely happy with their service department's hours or scheduling practices. And the comparisons with other dealers show there's some work to do just to catch up with the average. Of course, this report can also highlight when you're outperforming other dealers. Along with the dealer summary reports, the Cell Pack also includes response detail for both of the 2 new surveys. This is a listing of all responses returned by your customers during the most recent response period. The response detail includes the customer name, the repair order number, the vehicle identification number, and each of the survey questions. Above the listing of customer responses is a key to the possible responses. On our sample, customer J. Smith was the dealership's repair order number 000112. Looking across the page, we can see each of this customer's survey responses. For instance, this customer answered question number 3, yes. Question 3 asks if the vehicle was ready when promised. This customer was satisfied that it was. You can also use the response detail to look over a specific question. On our sample, nearly every respondent answered question 4 yes. Question 4 asks if the customer was treated courteously and with respect. Our sample dealer is doing well in this area. Remember the last question on both surveys which asked for permission to share responses with the dealership? Customers who answer this question no are included on the response detail but are labeled restricted, and the repair order number and VIN are omitted. These customers are included in the calculation of the indexes. Included at the end of the response detail are responses received 36 to 90 days after the survey was mailed to the customer. These responses are included for your information, but are not included in the calculation of the indexes. Further information about the Service Satisfaction Survey, how the indexes and percentages are developed, and a detailed explanation of the management report are contained in the Survey Administration Guide. Now that you're familiar with the surveys and the results reports, you may be asking, what now? What do I do with this information? First, we're going to tell you what we're going to do with the information. Since surveys can be tracked by VIN, customer, and dealership employee, survey results will be used to form an individual satisfaction index for each dealership salesperson, service advisor, and technician. These individual indexes will be incorporated into many incentive programs. The Service Satisfaction Survey will be used as a basis for qualifying for membership in the Only the Best Club and the Professional Service Council. Phase 2 of the 1989 Service Incentive Activity, Service Images 89, will be based on the results of the Service Satisfaction Survey. Purchase and Delivery Satisfaction Survey results will also be taken into account in various sales recognition activities in the future. Dealers currently selected for participation in the Customer Satisfaction Index Survey, CSI, will continue to use that survey as the primary tool to evaluate overall customer satisfaction after 6 months of ownership. We expect that the monthly PDS and SSS reports will be extremely valuable tools, but only if you put them to use. Each month, you should evaluate your current performance relative to that of other dealers. And over time, you can watch your scores increase as you take action to improve customer satisfaction. In addition to the video pack, which this tape is a part of, Chevrolet will provide you with a separate binder to store each of the surveys and a box to hold the binders. These materials will arrive at your dealership in a separate shipment.
We've shown the relationship between customer satisfaction and repurchase loyalty. We know our new surveys are valid measures of repurchase loyalty. We have implemented these surveys with the intention of improving customer satisfaction, which will increase customer loyalty and improve sales. But survey results can only identify trends. It's up to you at the dealership to take action if these trends indicate a change would improve customer satisfaction. Use the monthly purchase and delivery satisfaction results to identify areas where your sales staff and vehicle delivery staff are not performing to your customers' expectations. Service satisfaction survey results should be used to identify problems in the service department that could be driving customers away. And of course, from both surveys, you can use the positive results to identify superior employee performance, which should be acknowledged and rewarded. Your account manager and branch customer satisfaction staff can help you in these areas. Customer satisfaction survey results should be reviewed and charted monthly. By comparing your results from month to month, you can see the start of a trend or if your corrective actions are having a positive effect. Customer satisfaction depends on every aspect of the dealership operation: sales, delivery, and service. It's not enough, though, to want to please your customers. We have to know how to fulfill their expectations and transportation needs. And who better to ask than the customers themselves?